The year's most talked about new show, Pose, features the largest cast of trans actors ever. So you know I had to meet up with the show's star, MJ Rodriguez, to kiki about representation, sex ed, and a whole lot more. All right, MJ, thank you for joining us today. So young people see you as a big star, rightfully so, see you on the red carpet, on this amazing show, Pose. But we know that that's not where people start, right? People are not stars immediately.
Right.
So share a little bit about your journey.
So I was a little girl who grew up in Newark, New Jersey, had a dream, aspirations, born and raised. I had always seen myself as an entertainer, as someone who just gets out there and just like constantly just like does what they need to do, let the art speak for itself. And my mom saw that when I was a baby. Like she saw that when I was like at least about 1 year old. I was singing in the back of her car and she noticed I was singing Jodeci, talk to me, baby. And she was like, oh, this one. And my aunt was in the car with her too. And she was like, okay, you got one of those on your hands. And then the rest was history.
So you're on an amazing show. Pose, everyone is talking about it. You can't be on any social media platform. There are folks who are now saying the category is who were not saying that a month ago.
Right.
So what is it like to be on this amazing show?
It's amazing to be able to speak for your community in a way. And it's also great to speak for a specific part of the community that has been ostracized for a long time. Even though the LGBT community has been out there when it comes to pride and everything, sometimes I feel like some of them get lost in the mix, and the T was one of them that got lost in the mix. And a lot of people forgot that African American women, Latina women of color who are of the trans experience, they forget that we were the women who kind of cultivated the ballroom culture in order for a lot of drag queens to be drag queens and a lot of gay men to live out their fantasy as far as being feminine and being comfortable in it. We were the women to cultivate that. Sylvia Rivera, Martha B. Johnson, the list goes on. And it's shows like this that gives you a glimpse into the founding mothers and how the founding fathers came along and how they created these children in order for us to be here today.
You shared a little about why it's important for you to be on that show.
Right.
Why do you think it's important for young trans women of color? What message would you want them to get by watching Pose?
I think it's important that there are trans women of color on this show because one, I mean, we have all different walks of life, and we're telling different aspects of our story. It's not just one story. And I feel like the world needs that in order for them to have more of a human experience. When you have one story, only a certain amount of people can relate to that. But when you have a variety of stories and what we go through individually, then you can actually look towards something and you can actually humanize us versus just having this one depiction of us. And I think it's beautiful that we're women of color because we struggle so much, and you get to see our struggle through this show. So it's very important, and kids can look up to that, and they can see, not only can they look up to that and see and watch the show, but they can be like, oh, I can be this, I can do this, and I'm someone who is this, didn't know how to express it before or let the world know before, but now that these women, especially people who are of a marginalized culture, now that they're on a platform and they have a responsibility, then I can do it too. And maybe they can venture, and it doesn't have to necessarily be acting, but it's something like this that sets apart other things, and it's letting people know that there's an opportunity for them out there.
You play Blanca, who's living with HIV in the Reagan years. Why do you believe that is an important element or an important story to tell for this generation of young people?
Well, not only is it important telling it from the aspect of a trans woman's perspective, but it's important just in general to tell what people of color used to go through as far as AIDS versus what people who are of a lighter hue, and when I say that, Caucasian people went through, showing it from that aspect and showing how we lived through it when we didn't get any notoriety of how we were dying and how we were falling off like flies either. I think it's important to show how we lived our lives and how we got through it and how we survived it.
There's this conversation around the relationships between gay men, cis gay men, and trans women. And it's through the lens of this very supportive, like, baby, I know you don't know, but let me school you real quick. Mm-hmm. What would be some of your tips for folks who want to be allies or folks who can be better allies?
If you know that you have a close-knit relationship with me or any woman of my experience, fend for me. stand up for me. People need to learn how to fight for us, and people need to know how to be on our sides. And I think it'll get better once they do that. It's all about spreading awareness.
So what would big MJ tell younger MJ?
You don't have to worry about what other people think of you. That's all irrelevant. At the end of the day, there's a goal, there's a path that is set out for you. And you know it. Usually everyone knows their path that's set out for them. I knew at a very young age that I wanted to entertain. And I didn't have that opportunity to have other people tell me so. I would have said, just keep strong and steady, and everything is written in the stars for you, like how it is. Everything is planned. Everything is already it's divine. So all you have to do is just constantly keep moving forward with it.
You alluded to that HIV still disproportionately impacts LGBTQ people of color, specifically young people. What would you tell young queer and trans people living with HIV?
That it's not a death sentence, that you can still live out your life, so don't stop for that. You have to constantly live. And I'm even told that, and I'm someone who does not have HIV, but I have my moments too. And you can't limit yourself to one thing. Get all the medication, get all the medical treatment that you need, and keep it pumping. Because once you do, you will feel so much better.
So in one of the episodes, Blanca obviously is committed not only to her house members, to their success, but also their personal health. And she has the talk. What is one thing you wish around sex ed that you would have gotten in school, or that you think that young people should be able to get in schools around sex education?
I think they need to just be inclusive when it comes to sex ed, and include the kids of the LGBT community, and not just segueing into the heteronormative life, because that's what they do. They always fall within the binary and what is supposed to happen, and this is how it's supposed to happen.
We talked about like what would young queer and trans youth, LGBTQ youth get from watching the show. What do you think adults who survive that time, why do you think it's important for them to watch the show?
Because they can see that their ancestors, that they haven't been failed. They can see that these kids who have derived from their ancestors are doing the work and are showing that it is possible to be now, and that we can be in the same space as Tom Cruise, as Angelina Jolie, as a Beyonce, as a Rihanna, that we are individuals just like anybody else, and the things that they fought for is coming into full fruition now. And I would say to the people who have the LGBT youth, get ready, because they're going to be as fierce as the kids that are here now. We're just setting up the platform. We're leaving a legacy behind so that they can actually have a space to feel like they can be anything they want to be.
Well, thank you so much for being here on Kikis with Louie and sharing your story. And I brought an Entertainment Weekly with you on the cover.
What?
Yeah. Oh no, we got a better marker. Yes, I knew that when that was the first song, I was like, okay, it's going to be lit. And every time someone tells me, have you watched the show? They're like, the music is amazing. So I'm glad that it's, because I love music, and that the story from that time, because you said that during that time it was tough, so music helped to sustain people.
Yeah, it was.
And I think it's brilliant and beautiful that they're telling the story through the music. It doesn't say we're telling the story through the music. Like, it's like you have to, like, you watch it, it's just.
You feel it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, my mom used to go to a place called Paradise Garage. And that is where everyone went. It's kind of crazy because I feel like even though things were not as progressive back then in New York City, people still found a way to connect because they knew that so much was going on. I'm gonna need you to calm down, girl. Ring the alarm. I've been through this too long, but I'll be damned if I see another.
Yes. All right, so yeah. Well, this is cute. Louie. Oh, hey. Well, I want to thank you for watching Kikis with me, Louie. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe down below. And I want to hear your thoughts and experiences on this topic. So drop a comment, let's keep the Kikis going.